In fighting, they don't talk about throwing just one punch, they talk about throwing that 1-2 punch. But I say let's forget about the punch. Let's just stick with a 1-2. Episode 12, Daily Nourishment. Welcome back. Today, the topic is going to be almost an open letter, and it's going to be to all the young chefs and all the young people listening. And it's going to be that you should create something. Now, I don't mean create as in, create a dish or, create a project or I don't know, create a problem or something. No, I want you to create something, like something personal. Like I want you to go create a menu and I want you to write it down and I want you to serve it. I want you to create an idea for your piece of clothing that you had, for your chef jacket where it has a designated, like pre-drawn Sharpie and on the shoulder, so it looks like you always have a Sharpie, so you can trick your coworkers. I want you to go make that show just like I'm doing right now that you always dreamed of. You know why? Because it's so important. I think people, they always look for that immediate like hint as to people seeing their work and appreciating their work. But I don't think that's what it's about. And this whole thing is inspired by me learning more about the artist Vermeer. Now, Vermeer was a Dutch painter who you guys probably know some of his paintings by name or by appearance. So the really famous one is The Girl with the Pearl Earring. And some of the other works he's done are great too. He's actually only, I think they only like have 30 paintings that he's done, meaning he's like a very rare artist. But I think the really key thing to highlight here is Vermeer was overlooked for so long. Vermeer for 250 years was reasonably left unknown. Like no one knew of his work. And he was from a pretty big artist town, so it wasn't even like art was unexpected. It was just no one really paid attention to him, right? I think sometimes people feel that no one is paying attention to any of the stuff they're doing, right? Like for example, sometimes I feel like, when you're doing a deed at work, for example, no one's paying attention, no one's watching. I shouldn't be putting my best foot forward. But I think that's the thing. You never know who is watching. Say you do go and you do write that menu and you do serve it. Then when you're applying for a job, guess what? That is going to pop up right there. That's some great credibility. Who else your age has done that? Or let's say you are looking to start a catering company. You're looking to get some clients and they're looking for some experience. Well, once again, you've got this incredible menu that you've constructed. When you're serving that menu, who do you know who's going to come to that dinner? Maybe there's someone there who'd be willing to give you an opportunity that I wouldn't even be able to describe and you wouldn't even be able to imagine. What if, while you're doing that dinner, you go work with someone and then they end up working at a fantastic restaurant and they tell their chef when they're short staffed, I know this guy, great leader. I think he would make a great sous chef. And then imagine you get to work under a fantastic chef because the actions you've done yield dividends. I think that's the thing about creation. I think everyone feels like, I got to get everything perfect. I got to get to this ultimate state where what I can make is perfect. But I don't think that's realistic. I think making mistakes and somewhat failing is inevitable. So why not get that failing out of the way when your expectations are your lowest? No one is really expecting anything from a young chef, who's still putting all this work in on their grind and hasn't even like mastered the basics yet. Ask me what the 5 mother sauces are. I have no idea, right? Maybe like, I don't even know, tomato? I honestly have no idea. Might be undermining my own credibility here, but we'll leave that in. The point being is that at this point, no one is expecting anything of you. Meaning, if you do succeed, great. But if you don't, that's okay. You've learned invaluable experience along the way. And that means that when you do go to do that project, when you do try and do something when you're older, you have confidence because you've done this kind of stuff before. Talking in front of a camera or working with clients or working with shippers or doing whatever kind of project you're doing is so invaluable at a young age because it really separates you from other people. And the question is, how can you start taking some tangible steps towards this? I think the first step to being able to actually create something is just look at something you already enjoy doing and see if there's any way of creating it. A great example is there's a lot of people who have found that they were able to make some sort of brand out of doing something that they already enjoyed. A great example of this is graphic design. A lot of people already like doing art and they thought, why don't I put this art on a shirt? Or why don't I start looking into making art that's exactly for that shirt? The reason being is any curiosity that you have is kind of like a rabbit hole. It's kind of like a big ball of yarn. And once you start pulling and unwinding, it just keeps going and it'll lead you down another path. And I think eventually you'll get to a certain point where there'll be an opportunity where you can turn something into some sort of business. So let's say we go with this graphic design example. Let's say you do make a t-shirt. The first thing you're going to do really is you're going to go to your friends and you're going to go to your family because they're the people who are going to support you the most. And then when you go to those people, because you have their support, that can then lead to natural support coming in. That could then lead to, friends of a friend maybe being interested in that too. Or maybe, again, your family is going to give you the most support more than anyone. Then maybe your parents, maybe they know someone who is looking for a graphic designer. Or maybe they know someone who is, they help young graphic designers get the word out there about their products, or maybe give them a platform or something. The point is, you don't know what connections you already have unless you try and reach out to your friends and your family, right? And the point is you get to get some natural practice out of it. I think with any business as well, you can always, go to your family first, go to your friends first, give them a discount or something, because you're learning. And it's the second best thing to learning on someone else's dime is to learn on your own pennies on the dollar, right? In this case, you were learning for exponentially way less risk, way less cost, way less anything. I know I've rambled on a bit here, but it's something I feel really passionate about, as evident by this channel. I think everyone has a unique voice, and I think everyone should be trying to learn how to harness that voice and share it with everyone through whatever medium they feel that they want to express it the most. What do you think? Do you think that this is something that everyone should explore? Do you think I should give a super in-depth guide of how to become a graphic designer, even though this channel talks only about food primarily, right? Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you tomorrow for Daily Nourishment 13.